Welcome back to Garth's Graveyard Garage. Finally, in this episode, we're going to tackle this 2003 Chevy S10 because some of you said you wanted to see us diagnose and fix it. So here we go. What's going on, everybody? Sorry it's been a while. Texas has been in pure chaos. If you've been keeping up with the news, with the flooding, destruction, loss of lives, loss of homes, I mean, it's been horrible. Thank you to those that did reach out to me to find out if we were okay. We aren't in harm's way. We're kind of at the back of it. Because where we're at in Canyon Lake, Texas is basically the catcher's mitt for the Guadalupe. So everything that happened in Kerrville, Center Point, Comfort, Bernie on down to here, our lake is what caught all the floodwaters. The only positive side of that is our lake was, I think, at 36% full, and now we're approaching 70. So we are getting our lake back conveniently after I sold my boat. But yeah, it's been horrible. Comfort is where I grew up. Center Point, Kerrville, that's my old stomping grounds. I've lived in all three of those towns, and yeah, it's been horrible. On top of that, I lost, not because of the flooding, but I had two friends of mine pass away randomly. And if you haven't talked to somebody in a while and you think about them, give them a call, because one of my friends, I hadn't talked to her in probably 15 years, and I hated finding out through Facebook that she passed away, and we'd kind of lost touch. It's bad. It sucks. But it's time to get back in the garage. The garage is my therapy. It helps me refocus on things, and yeah, a lot of you asked to see us fix the S10, or you said yes to the S10, so we're gonna get it here in the garage. And if you see over my shoulder, you can see something I did finally put in. If you don't follow my Facebook, I bit the bullet and went ahead and got a 2-post lift. We also have a wheel balancer coming Wednesday. That's going to be delivered. So I should have a fully operational garage now. It's going to make things a lot easier. I can stay out of the sun. It got to me so much that, yes, I hacked all my hair off. If you know me, you know this is my normal haircut. The long hair was just 2 years of me being lazy and just deciding not to cut it. But between the heat and getting called John Wick all the time, I decided to just cut it off. It's a lot cooler. I am enjoying it again. But yeah, we got the 2-post lift in. I probably should have filmed that, but OSHA probably would have come and knocked on my door. I did this by myself. I'll just say I dropped one of them. It did hit, it landed on a floor jack, but yeah, one, I did manage to knock one over. It was ugly, but I have a workspace in the garage now. A lot of you are always telling me, hey, clean out your garage and work in your garage. Well, I kind of got forced to whenever this lift showed up, and I was like, oh great, I need to put that in. So I've still got a lot to do. I've sold some stuff, and updates on that stuff. Buddy of mine, acquaintance, friend, guy, hit me up, said he needed a work truck. Didn't have a lot of money, and he asked me about wrecks. So I said, yeah, what do you got? What can you do? So he traded me a Harley Davidson Ultra Classic Electric Glide and a Pew Pew. And so I let Rex go for that. And then I sold the Pew Pew to another friend of mine, and the basically family member that bought Charlie, the tow truck, from me. He also bought the Harley, so it at some point might make an appearance in the video. If not, if you want to see it, I think I posted a picture of it on our Facebook page, so you can go check us out over there on Facebook at GARTH'S.com. But okay, this has been a long enough intro. Let me I've been trying to finish up on Lenny so we can get him out of here, and so I had him in the garage. That carburetor is from China. It's not doing so well, so I ordered another carburetor. It'll be here next week, so we're going to try that. But yeah, that carburetor, it won't take adjustments, it won't do anything, so it's not running right. But we'll see how the new carburetor does when it gets here. But let me get the S10 moved over here into the garage, and then I will go over what I kind of know about it. Well, as you can see, it does run-ish. It belonged to a repair shop, local friend of mine who owns a repair shop out here. She had 7 or 8 cars that people had left behind at the repair shop because they just said, yeah, I can't afford that, or I don't want to fix it, just keep the vehicle. Well, this was one of them. Out of the 7 or 8. This was the only one. I said, well, yeah, there's a lot of options. Even if the motor's completely shot, there's things we can do with it. We were just told the engine was completely blown or shot. So Iceman brought it over here, threw a battery in it, and it started. Not real fast. It had to hold the pedal half throttle, and then it started. But then I heard how quiet it was, and I'm like, okay, so what's actually wrong with this truck? Because now I'm confused. Then we started seeing white smoke bellowing out of the back of it and coolant pouring out of the muffler. Hopefully it's just a head gasket. That's what this video is going to be about. We're going to find out. The truck has, I think, 336,000 miles on it. So the engine's probably going to be a little tired, but it cost me $100 to get all the parts it should take to just fix a blown head gasket. So we're going to find out if we can put this little truck back on the road for $100. Budget. The truck itself ain't worth a lot, probably $3,000 tops in our market out here. That's what I kind of seen them go for. It is an S10, it is the V6, and it is a short bed. So there's a lot of options you could do with this. Worst case scenario, option 2, if the engine is shot, we have cracked heads, block, whatever. I have a V8 we could throw in here and have a little fun with. We could take the body off of it. I could turn this into a little Volkswagen Beetle truck. I mean, my brain is always coming up with ideas. But first thing we're going to do, I haven't cleaned it, I haven't done anything. It belonged to a local little farmer lady. Took really good care of it. I couldn't believe it had only 300,000 miles on it. Or it actually had 300,000 miles on it. Paint looks good. There's a few little whiskey dents. But it had been sitting, I think, a year. There was ants nests in there. That's the only thing I've done is I killed the ants. We're gonna pop the hood and look at everything, and we'll probably pull the spark plugs first. Let's see if we can determine which head gasket is blown and where. Okay, the only time I glanced under here was when I put a battery in it. And we're off to the races with Daddy Longlegs. Everywhere. Nothing has been modified. Everything is original. Yeah, nothing has been touched. Like I said, it looked like this is a, it was a 2-owner truck, so I would be third, according to the records that I pulled on this thing. So let's take a quick gander. Let me grab my light and let's see if we can spot anything on the outside, wherever my light is. All right, let's see what we got going on in here. Typical dirt. Got a little moisture right there. Don't see anything crazy going on. Looks like somebody has changed the water pump at some point. These little tight spaces. Maybe a little oil leak. Yeah, I don't see, I mean, if you look around, look at it. It's not in bad shape for being what it is. Got your typical worn out spot right there on the seat, but the rest of the seat's good. It's just dirty. Headliner's still intact. I mean, yeah, we have a fun little truck. Change out that radio. It's got no options. Yeah. Now that speaker grill's messed up. That's an easy fix. The dash is actually okay. But look at the bed. I mean, it's barely scratched up other than the leaves that fell in here. But yeah, this truck was hardly used. Few little dents right there, but no, I think this will be a satisfying detail too. Got a fixture. Looks like the bolt came out of that side, or somebody tried breaking into it and broke it. These were always very easy to break into, which was sad. But okay, well, I guess what we need to start doing is start taking all of this stuff off so we can get a closer look, get down to the spark plugs, pull the spark plugs out, and we'll see what kind of condition they're in. These are easier to get to than those, but once we get all of this stuff off, I think we'll be all right. So our goal is to make this as simple as possible, and no. Okay. Simple as possible and as cheap as possible. We don't want to put a lot of money into this truck because worst case scenario, even if we were to go sell it, we wouldn't make a whole lot. Now, this might just be one we keep around as a backup. So, all right, let's start taking all this junk off. Very easy engines to work on. Problem is they're always crammed down in here. Put that back on so we don't lose it. Grab a screwdriver. Let's take this whole thing off. Let's see. I'm gonna take airflow sensor and all of this stuff off. I smell like a perfumey scent coming from this thing. Oh, that one's loose. That's not good. I haven't been off there like ever. Oh. New radiator hose. Want to get some of these smaller projects out of the way because the main reason for the lift is to do a lot of the bigger jobs. I have some ideas for the Monte Carlo, but we need to do the floor pans in that. But before we do the floor pans in the Monte Carlo, we need to do the floor pans in the Falcons because we need to get it out of here. So maybe the gentleman that got it can use it for his next school reunion or class reunion, since he missed this one, but I actually need to check on him. He lives right over there in Center Point, where they keep unfortunately finding some deceased from the flood. All right, what else can we take off here? Well, we'll take the radiator hose off. We know there's no coolant in this thing because it's not smoking anymore. I apologize, I'm working on newer stuff. I'm trying to find older stuff, but no one's letting stuff go right now, or we're just not finding them. Did put my eyes on an old Corvette Stingray, but I'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. That might be a fun one. I'm more of a Camaro guy over a Corvette, but it would be fun to play with. All right, well, I need some channel locks to bust that loose. The more we get out of the way now, the more we got out of the way for later. Last time I worked on one of these little Chevy V6s, 4.3s, was in a boat. All right, get to that spark plug, that one. That one might be easier through the fender well. Yeah. Okay, we'll get to that one through the fender well. So far, not seeing a lot. Yep. All right, well, let me go ahead and finish taking some stuff off, and then we'll tune you guys back in when I'm going to pull the spark plugs, and we'll see if we can figure out where the problem is just on the spark plugs and how they look. This lift is already being useful because the spark plugs get right here through the fender well. So we got the truck up on the lift, got the wheels off so we can get right to them. So we're starting on the passenger side, and we'll see what's going on over here. All right, let's see. Okay, it's not that one. That looks normal. Let's move on to the next one. Whoa. This plug's been in here a while. Oh, Lee. Well, they're not that old. Huh. Somebody didn't put any anti-seize on here. Is this going to be the one? Place your bets. There is a little rust on it, but I don't think that's going to be it. Could be. I'm looking for an obvious because this thing was bellowing smoke. So it should be a pretty obvious spark plug when we get to the one that was cooking the coolant. Oh, God. And then we just have to hope that we don't have a, well, cracked block or a warped head. No, that one looks fantastic. Typical usage. Yeah, these plugs aren't that old. They're not even rounded right there. Okay, well, let's move on to the other side and we'll see how those look. It's probably going to be the driver's side. On this side we got one that's a problem because it's directly behind the steering linkage. I'll start with number one first. Brakes aren't that old either. They're about 50%. So yeah, they maintain this truck. Not bad. The gap is way off. Good Lord. Yeah, that's definitely got a gap problem. Heat will do that. So it was probably this side. Get this one off and then I could cheat. Where's my impact? Probably gonna put new plugs in it anyway, so. Yeah, wide gap on that one too. I'm still not seeing evidence of coolant though. Let's see, we're gonna get to this one. Okay, put socket on. Can we get to it? Okay. Maybe. Might have found the one. Holy. I think someone cross-threaded this plug in there. Yeah, should not be like that. No, it's not cross-threaded. Let's see. None of these are horrible. All of them match as far as coloring, but the gaps are all different. You can see that. But as far as rust goes, they all have a little bit right there on the edge, but I don't know. All right, we're not learning anything from that. When we take the intake bolts off, we can do those right here. Hopefully none of them break. Like on the LS engines, there's always one or two on each side that break, and then you got to do the old welder trick to get them out. Worst case scenario, if they break, we're taking the heads out anyways, as long as it leaves us a little bit of a stud to weld to, we can get them out. Wondering if I should go ahead and pop these exhaust bolts out right now while we're in here. Yeah, I can see all the bolts. Let's see how tight they are. It's worked out pretty good. The truck's right here and my tools are right here, so I put the lift in the right spot. Okay. Let's see. I don't need that long of an extension. Let's see if these are gonna come out. Might do this with an impact. Of course, brake lines are in the way. No, it needs to be longer than that. See how tight it is, or if it's gonna break. All right. This little weenie impact is not as strong as the air, so I use it because it's less likely to break something. We're gonna probably switch to air. All right, here we go. This thing don't sound right. Okay. Try another one before we bust out the breaker bar. Well, that one came right out. Okay, well, as tight as that plug was, and that bolt, sorry, I got something in my eye. We might have a problem with the head. I hope we don't. But that intake bolt, or that exhaust bolt, is very tight. Could be wrong. This is all just guessing right now. See, they should come out like that. Might need a swivel. Try with this with the weenie impact and see if it comes out with that. Yep. All right. Well, let's try this other one. Wait, which one are we at? That one? I forgot which one I was trying. Well, that one came out. Front one's gonna be a deep socket. Okay. Oh, never see that nut again. Never mind, found it. All right, that was just the nut. Let's try the actual bolt now. Yep, came right out. Okay. Let's try this front one more time. Don't need a swivel. All right. Grab the breaker bar and see if we can do this without breaking anything. Let me upgrade to a 1/2 inch. Okay. Tell you what, let's do big ratchet and then I can put a bar on it. Put it about there. Grab my breaker bar, get these plugs out of the way. Alright. There goes nothing. Get a bite on it. Nope. Socket is too wide. Okay. I don't know if it's breaking or if it just moved a little bit. I don't know. It just snapped or gave. No, it's turning. Okay. All right. I was just on there. Okay. Manifold gasket. Probably gonna have to drop the exhaust because with these manifolds on, you can't get to the lower head bolts. And there's no way to move this out of the way. If this was a full-size truck, it'd be a little easier. I think I gotta gasket kit. I hope the exhaust manifold gaskets are in there. Yeah, I think we need to go ahead and drop the exhaust. Man, it just crammed in there. Okay, I'm going to hop on the other side, knock those exhaust manifold bolts out, and then I guess we'll raise the truck up and take the exhaust down from the manifolds. Yeah. Okay, we'll be right back. Yeah, to make things easier, took the hood off. Currently taking the lower intake bolts out. Upper intake came off. I realized I got kind of carried away taking stuff off, so turn the camera back on. I'm trying to do everything as simple as possible without removing everything, but I'm also getting it to a point where if it's real bad, we're at a point where it'll be easy just to yank this engine out. Oh. There you go. Let's see if we can get this thing out of here without breaking anything. Trying not to take the spider injection off. If you've never seen one before, they're pretty wicked looking, and it just looks like a giant spider. They're also a pain in the butt, because if you need to service it, you gotta take the upper intake off just to get down into it. I like the old school injection where it's just right up on top. Or should I say, it's also new school. There we go. For this many miles, I'm surprised this looks as good as it does. All right, it's milky, so we definitely need to drain the oil. And I've got this thing still on the lift, so we'll do that real quick. You've seen people change oil before. Just gonna lift this up real quick, drain the oil out, see what comes out of it, and if it's anything special, I'll tune you guys in. But yeah, we're at the point now where we're probably going to, we'll do that, and then we'll take the valve covers off, inspect in there, and then we'll see what that looks like, and then we'll pop the rockers off, and then after that, just take the head bolts out, and the heads will be ready to come off. Well, I haven't got this manifold yet. This manifold came right out, pulled it out of the top. That one, I'm probably gonna have to disconnect the steering linkage. So I'll get down there and do that in a minute. It's down there, so I'm bracing myself to do that. I'm procrastinating, that's what I'm doing, I'm procrastinating. But all right, let me get under there and drop the oil real quick, and then we'll move on to valve covers and see what's going on in there. Okay, nothing special. No metal flakes, nothing, just a little bit of milkshake, and it actually wasn't too bad. So let's get these valve covers off of here. I can't believe this engine has 300-something thousand miles on it. I mean, There's no carbon buildup or nothing. I've worked on these in the past where they didn't maintain it, and as soon as you take the valve cover off, all you see is carbon chunks everywhere. This is clean. I vacuumed out in here as best I could, but I'm sure we're gonna have to do it again. I'm definitely gonna clean up these valve covers and everything too. Interesting. Someone's worked on this engine before. Huh. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, as you can see, this is basically about the condition if you will maintain your engine 300 and something thousand miles. Now look how shiny that is over there. So somebody's done some work on this engine in the past, because that is, yeah, all of this is clean. These push rods are smooth and shiny. These are dull and rough. So I'm wondering if somebody worked on this and it's leading me to believe it's going to be probably this head gasket. I bet they had a problem in the past and they were lazy and did one. I mean, I know somebody's worked on the engine before because there's like little things that were out of place. Like there's one missing little nut, and then some things were loose here, tight there. So there's little evidence that people have worked on it before. But I'm wondering, we're gonna probably find out when we take the heads off, but I bet somebody worked on it before, did this side. They were lazy and didn't do this side. I bet that's what we're gonna run into. That's what I'm leaning towards. So, okay, well, you don't need to sit here and watch me pop all these rockers loose, but I'm gonna start doing that. Get these off, I'll get them lined up, we'll put them back where they were in order, and then we'll move on to head bolts. Okay, figured we'd start on the hard side first. Went ahead and disconnected the steering shaft and just pulled it through the firewall to give me just enough room to move the manifold down. And that worked, got all the head bolts out. And now we're going to pop it loose and see what we got. Besides coolant all over the ground. Well, I'm gonna rag it. Put my gloves on, that way I've got more grip. Oh, I think we got a ground strap. In a full-size truck, you can see the ground straps. This one, nah, not so much. Let's see. Yeah, we got a ground strap. It's going to be 13. Well, if I can get to it. No, what size is that? I'd hope if I could see it.
Problem with these vehicles is, even though it's a Chevy, it goes back and forth between metric and standard. Yeah, 14. Once we get the heads off, we'll be able to tell if the head gaskets have been replaced, because they're not going to match. And I know the intake has been off before because I noticed the factory seals under the intake have been changed. Yeah, it looks like here. Yeah. All right. Well, this was definitely a bad head gasket on this side. We'll get it off and look at it better. But you can see where it was separated, the layers. And I was right, because I just looked at, what is that? I forget what the firing was. It 1, 2, 3. It's either 3 or 2, whatever. Second one back on the driver's side. I don't usually work on V6s. The top of the where the bottom of the head, where the cylinder, I'm exhausted. The head, where the cylinder connects to it, is rusted. So, yep. Yeah, I can see it. So the head gasket was coming through, and that was the one we had problems with the bolt, and also, yeah, we're gonna have to check the head, see if it's warped. That's where everything was tight. Hopefully the head's okay. If not, those are easy to find. But let's see. I'm going to get this head gasket off of here. Yeah, bottom is fine. Right through here. This was all blown right here. Now the cylinder walls are fantastic. Yep, there's rust top of the cylinder, or top of the piston. So that's which one it was. It was that second cylinder was, I need to look that up. 1, 2, 3? Is it 3? I think it's 3. I could be wrong. I don't know. But anyways, second cylinder, blown head gasket. We're not going to do this the lazy way. We're going to take the other head off too. This was the hard one to get off, and once I got the steering out of the way and dropped the manifold back, it made it a lot easier. But me start getting the parts removed off of that one. Looks like I can get to that ground strap without taking the head off. So yeah, let me get all that disassembled. We'll pull that head off, and we'll see which head gasket's on there, and we'll find out real fast if they were lazy, blew a head gasket before and only changed the passenger side, because this looks factory and very old. Well, theory was wrong. These head gaskets have never been done. So whatever work they had done was under the intake and with the rocker assembly and push rods. I don't know. But this side looks exactly like that side. And one thing I noticed, rusted center cylinder and rusted center cylinder. The other outers look fine. So we're gonna check and see if these heads are warped. What I'm gonna do real quick is clean those up, get all the loose stuff off and get them shiny again. And then we'll put a straight edge of something, probably steel or something, slide it across the deck of the head and see if it's got any obvious warpage. To the naked eye, I don't see any. I think it's just a set of head gaskets that have over 300-something thousand miles on them, and yeah, one went worse than the other, but they were both leaking right in the middle. So let me clean these up real quick, and then we'll find a piece of straight edge steel around here or something. I had a square, but I don't know where it went, but we'll find something and we'll run it across the deck and see if these are usable. Well, as I'm sitting here cleaning the heads, driver's side made me kind of nervous. Well, here's the passenger side, cleaned up pretty good. I thought we had a crack right there. I don't know if you can really see in the light, but under closer inspection, it's just like a pitting. But then on this one, you can see it right there. That looked like a crack too, but I've been sitting here poking at it and everything, and I think it's just pitting as well. It's weird how it pits down into there. So I don't know if something was in the cylinder and popped it, but it looks like it's okay. I've been putting the light across it and everything else, trying to get a good look at it. But yeah, it looks worse on camera, but that's from the mold. But yeah, that right there, it's like a chip. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess something may have gotten in there and popped it, and it stops right there. But I think we're okay. It doesn't. I don't think it goes all the way through. I guess we'll find out the hard way. But I wish I had a magnifying glass. But okay, I'm gonna finish cleaning this up, cleaning up the top of the block, and I'm gonna do a quick check on this. I've been looking around for straight steel. I don't have much, so I'm gonna probably just use some thick square tubing because it's pretty straight, and put it on there flat, and we'll see if that works. Well, let's see. This is a deal I made for working on Iceman's truck. Anytime we got to drop the transmission out to get the the transmission support out, you got to widen the frame just a little bit. So we put this up in between the frame rails and put a bottle jack on it just to give it just enough to get that thing out of there. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's flat all the way across. Yeah, I think we're all right. Yeah, I don't see any light coming under. All right, I think we're all right. Okay, well, let me get back to this, and yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find my magnifier. I'm gonna double check that head, but I think we're okay. It's probably gonna bite me in the butt later. Okay, jumped ahead a little bit while the batteries for the camera were charging, but got the heads back on, torqued to spec, and yes, the ground straps are on. So I think next we'll grab the push rods, we get them put in, and then we'll put the rocker assembly back on and torque those down. These are cool because you don't have to go around and spin the engine or do any of that. You just throw the rocker assembly on these, this Series 4.3, and just torque them down to 22, 25 foot-pounds. And yeah, it takes care of the rest. And then, so we'll get that done, and then we will move on from there. So I've got the pusher, the push rods in order back here as I took them out. So I've got this side, that side, and then put those back in. Yeah, on this side I did, that's the front. On this side, that's the front. So let me get the camera set up. What are you doing? Oh, not used to stepping over this lift yet and tripping over stuff. Tripping over stuff I'm used to. Okay, let me grab the push rods and we'll get those put in real quick. All right, so this is number 1. Important thing on this is make sure you get them in the right spot, because you don't want to go torquing this down and bending a push rod. Oh, I'm not paying attention. The right spot? Yeah, okay. And the mosquitoes are starting to come out. Look, let's see what I'm doing. This is why you don't get in a rush. Okay, rocker assembly. This was the shiny ones. So I can do this without knocking them off. Oh. Get them started, make sure they're in their cradle. Okay, got enough threads now to where they won't fall off here. Alright, I'm going to get these torqued down to 22 and then knock out the other side, and then we'll come back when we're putting the lower intake back on. We are putting the gaskets on and putting the silicone bead on here. I'll give you just enough in the kit. Alright, see if we can get this thing in here without making a mess. All right, something's pushing on it. Oh. Wire loom. Alright. I cleaned it as best I could. I don't want to do too much and risk hitting the injectors or anything. So once we put it all back together, we'll do a deep clean on it. Let's see. 2, 4, 6, 8 intake bolts, and find those real quick. I need to get a new thermostat. That one looked pretty bad. Speed this up a little bit. Find my torque wrench. Well, I'm gonna do this by hand and feel it because my torque wrench doesn't go down to 11 pounds. All right in there. As long as I don't go past one blood vessel popping out of my arm, you should be about right. awkward position. Definitely need to wipe that down before we put the upper intake on. All right, go. Yeah. I can't bolt that down because I gotta get the upper intake on first. Can't put that on, but we can, I guess, go ahead and drop the distributor back in there. Right back where it was. I'll plug that in now or I forget and I can't get to it. What are you guys working on? Or are you in between or dreaming? Let me know in the comments. I'm always curious what all you guys are working on. And I do like it when you guys send pictures of your projects. I do look at them. You can email them or Facebook message. I check both. Probably check email more than I check Facebook. I want to hurry up and start getting some of these projects out of the way because I am anxious to get on the Monty. I know a lot of you guys want to see that done too. I already got the floor pans for it. They're sitting in the back of the garage. And I mean, I've already got license plates and registration and insurance on it, just in case. So, all right. We're almost there, but I am running out of daylight. So, probably gonna call it quits for today. I'll be back on today's Sunday on this video. I'll be back on Wednesday. Hopefully we'll get this wrapped up. I need to pick up some oil, some coolant, and thermostat. And I think, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and get some new spark plugs too because these are ugly. So the spark plug wires, they seem okay. I'll just use those. So yeah, this is a budget fix. So, all right, I'm gonna wrap this up and need to go get cleaned up and feed the squirt. So I will catch you guys in, well, for you guys in a few seconds, but I will be back on Wednesday. So we'll see you in that morning. Good morning. It's Wednesday, and decided to come out to the garage and just get started since I'm under, well, limited time these days. Jamming out to some Ozzy since we lost him yesterday. Wanted to listen to some Ozzy Osbourne and just start knocking this stuff out. So here's where we are. Everything's pretty much back together. Exhaust is all put back on. Steering's all hooked back up. Everything's wired up. I think everything's done. Just need to throw some coolant in it, throw some oil in it, and make sure the drain plug was back in. And I think once we do that, we can find out, one, is it going to start? Did I get the distributor right? And two, is it fixed? We'll find out. We'll, you know, if it smokes out the garage, we're obviously not repaired. So let me get you guys set up and let's start getting oil in there, put a brand new Wix filter on it. There was milkshake in the filter too. So, all right. Well, I wish we didn't have copyright problems on YouTube for jamming out to music in the background. Otherwise, we'd put on some more Ozzy while we're doing this. But let's knock this out and see if she's going to start. We're just going with the cheap stuff. So we're just using some O'Reilly's high mileage. And this thing's got oil leaks. So don't want to put any synthetic in here because that'll probably just make it worse. The detergents and stuff that are in synthetic oil. So I'm supposed to have my tire balancer show up today, and they let me know they didn't get it on the truck, so now it'll be next week. And this engine calls for 4.5, but when you put 4.5 in these things, it always reads low, so we're just gonna put all of it in there. If it leaks, it'll set the level for us. All right. Heat's already like 100 degrees out here. So if you hear the fan in the background, I apologize. I got the swamp cooler running full blast. The heck there. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, when certain celebrities pass away, if you grew up watching them, listening to them, it's almost like, you know, they've been a part of your life, whether, you know, they're just normal people too, but like Robin Williams, that one was impactful because, you know, you grow up watching somebody like that, and it's almost like you're losing an uncle or something. And same with Ozzy. I always loved his music all the way back to Black Sabbath and his solo stuff. And then of course when they did the Osbourne's TV show, I loved watching that because Ozzy was such a character and just a natural comedian. And then his cameos in different movies, whether it was it the Jerky Boys and Little Nicky. He was just he was an entertainer. And I think him making his announcement for that show he just did early July, I think that's probably what did him in mentally and everything, because he lived to perform. I mean, even Sharon said that. So I think if he can't perform, he doesn't want to be here. So let me let me top this off with some water, and then we'll tune back in and see if this thing's gonna start. Did a quick once over, kind of looked over everything, put the intake breather back on, got everything hooked up, mass airflow sensor. I think we're ready to try it. We're gonna let me prime the fuel pump a few times and make sure we don't have squirts coming out up here in the top. A lot of times when you do that, you'll get a leak right there. Not seeing any fuel, not smelling anything. Alright, let's give it a whirl and see what happens. Just trying. Come on, girl. Give it a little pedal. Oh, I was wondering what was clicking. Turn signal. Let's see. I did put new plugs in it. Some Delco Platinums. A little bit of smoke, but I did spray some stuff down in there. Why are the brake lights stuck on? Have to figure that out. Oh, the lights are on. Okay, guess it's got, I don't know. Top off the coolant. Engine sounds great. Work all the little kinks out of it. Nothing dripping? No. Huh. Might have a good little truck. Smoke? A little bit. I'm sure there was a bunch inside that muffler too. I don't expect her to run perfect with 300 and something thousand miles on it, but so I don't want to put a bunch of money into it. So it's getting used to having to walk around things. Alright. Oil pressure, good. Batteries charging, quarter tank of gas. Temp gauge is starting to go up. Alright, well, ABS light. I might have disconnected something when I was messing around with this. Oh, there's something right there. I don't know what that is. I'll have to figure that out. Okay, well, let me let this thing sit here and run for a little bit and make sure everything's kosher, and then we'll tune back in. Well, I let it sit here and run for about 30 minutes or so. Got real nervous about 10 minutes into it because it started just bellowing white vapor, and then it just cleared up. But I think that was just the residual that was in the muffler, because before, when this thing ran and you had coolant or water in it, it was just pouring out of the muffler as it ran till it ran out. Now, after sitting here, it's cleared up and it's running better. I did run the codes on the ABS, and it came back to, it's either going to be a ground to the module or the module itself, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. But I think we do need to test drive this thing and see. I haven't fully put the column back together, but let's see. Starts right up. It hovers right where it's supposed to be. It's when it gets to 210, it sits there and hovers. I was kind of nervous at first because I thought the water pump wasn't working. But then once the thermostat opened and it cycled, and I also felt the heater hoses, so I still don't know why that brake light is on. Brake lights are working. All right, well, we'll just have a Christmas tree for right now. Service engine light is random misfire. So, figure what we'll do is we'll see how this thing goes down the road, and then we'll I wonder if these wipers work. Yeah, squirter work? Oh, look at that. Yeah, that was probably stupid. Now I can't see anything. And I think that was all that she had in her. Okay, you can turn off now. Okay, let's go see how this thing does. Got a lot of traffic because there's a camp down here and kids are oh man, this thing purrs. Tight steering, tight suspension. Yeah, all right. Got a little parts runner truck. Let's see, I should get her a little feet. Oh, she got some get up and go. The little lady that drove this, she probably babied it. Okay, this thing drives fantastic. Steering in this is tighter than Loretta. Alright, let's get this thing up here in kind of the shade, and let's give it a bath. Got a little vibration, but hey, 316,523 miles. It is what it is. Let's give it a bath. Alright, there she is. A few little scratches and stuff back here from probably throwing stuff into the bed. All of this was in the bed. The bed's actually in good shape. Yeah. Clean little truck. I'll work on the interior later when it's not so hot. But I think one thing I want to try is see if the AC works or not. It's probably low, so we'll put some dye in it and check it and see if it's got leaks or something. But all right, let me clean up my mess. All right, let's go ahead and pump some dye into this thing. That's enough. It's got pressure. I use one of these cheapy gauges so I don't have to bust out the big ones. think it works. I'll find out. All right, start this thing up, put it on max AC. Compressor kicked on, squealing a little bit. See what we got in here. Thing says it's full. Probably gonna need a compressor. That looks like yeah, that's an original compressor, so I'm surprised it's holding any pressure. Well, all right, well, we'll look into that later. Yeah. Compressor, the clutches are probably just shot in it. Okay, well, strike that. And that'll be probably something I don't do on video. That'll probably be something it's right there. 4 bolts, change it out. But at least we know it works. Should have degreased and cleaned this thing before I worked on it. All right, let me put all this stuff away. All right, everyone, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. It's too hot for me to do anything else out here, and anything I'm gonna do is not gonna be entertaining. I'm working on some stuff on the side, and hopefully it comes to fruition, and then we will have some content for you guys coming up. But yeah, sorry it took so long. Just like I said in the beginning, chaos around here, and sad moments, and yeah, but we're gonna try and get back on getting some projects done. Hopefully it starts cooling off pretty soon. Kids gonna be back in school, which kind of throws off my schedule a little bit, but got some stuff in the works. Hopefully, like I said, it comes to fruition, and then we'll have some more content working on that stuff. In the meantime, we'll jump back on the old heavy half GMC. We don't have a drive shaft for it, so I let the family know that the drive shaft that was in the back of the truck wasn't the right drive shaft, and they needed to find me one. So once we get the drive shaft, then we'll put the drivetrain back together and see if that transmission is going to work, and hopefully do our first test drive in that thing, and get it more or less ready for her to get out of here. I'm trying to free up some space around here, and it's slowly happening, but I want to have some space just in case things show up. So, all right, I'm gonna go cool off and eat something, but love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hope this wasn't too boring for you. Follow us on Facebook, check out the merch store, and we will see you in the next one. Love you.